Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite money man in a hoodie here. All right, so here's what we are going to do today. We are going to show you how you and everybody that you know has the potential to retire a millionaire. It is possible to do. I was just telling the Rumble audience a little bit ago, by the way, if you are not subscribed on Rumble, you're going to want to go there because from this point forward, I am putting things exclusively on Rumble that I am not putting anywhere else. Okay? Anywhere else, this is going to be the place where you find exclusive material. I just had a 5-minute discussion before this recording. That's where you're going to want to go to get extra stuff. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can, in a very non-scammy, legitimate, everyday people do this, millions of people do this kind of way, retire a millionaire. All right? It is very possible for you to do, and it involves just a few simple principles. All right. So if you want to see what this calculator is, and if you're curious about how it works, you can go to Ramsey Solution. Sorry for that. You can go to RamseySolutions.com and you can search either retirement calculator or investment calculator, and this page will pull up. And there's some information that we can enter in. I'm going to enter in a couple of numbers that me and my wife have been doing for a while. So I'll show you what that looks like for us if we were to change nothing that we're doing right now. But also for the Rumble audience, anybody tuning in on Rumble, I'm giving you guys the option to throw in your numbers. It can be how much you have currently set up for retirement, how long you've got to. We'll throw some numbers in there right now, and we'll toy around with them and see what they are. So again, for the Rumble audience, I'm going to add a little bit extra than what I told you. If you want to test out your numbers, what I need is your age, how much you have in retirement, and how much you want to put towards your retirement every month. Okay? Even if you can't do it right now, we're just going to throw out some numbers and then maybe we can work our way towards it. All right? So here's the first thing that you need to know. Okay? So the retirement calculator right here is based off putting your money in a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. Okay, and what that basically means is it's a mutual fund. It's a place that gives money to all these different areas. You're investing in multiple different companies so that even if like one of these companies were to fall off the map, your retirement is not going to take a massive hit because it's spread out over a wider area. It's spread out between overseas stuff, local stuff, big business, small business. Your retirement is more secure because it's spread out over a wider net instead of putting all of your stock into Tesla or even let's just say a new startup technology company that maybe will fail next year. If you put $85,000 into this company and then next year the company goes under, guess what? You're losing that money. It's not going to be fun. So you put it in a growth stock mutual fund, a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k. And then over time, that compound interest is going to build up together. Everything in the account, whether you put it in there or if it's interest that grew from a previous year, is going to grow upon itself. Okay? Making money makes money. That's basically the idea of it. That's how this retirement calculator works. We're going to enter in some numbers. But first, I want to give you guys my numbers, or numbers that I've done in the past. By the way, hello, Rumble people. We're about to do the experiment, and I'm going to show you what my retirement numbers look like if I don't change anything. And then if you want to participate too, I just need a few numbers from you. Just shoot in the live chat what your numbers are in response to this. Okay? So right now, we're going to look, and this is the RamseySolutions.com retirement calculator or investment calculator if you want to do this yourself. So the first piece of information right here is your current age. Well, I turned 29 today. So we're going to put in 29. Okay. How much money do you currently have in investments? Right now, my wife and I have $10,000 in investments. And this is just in a Roth IRA. I've got a little bit from a previous job, and my wife has a little bit in her current job. I'm not 100% sure what those numbers are, so I'll work with the ones that I know. How much will you contribute monthly? Right now, my wife and I are doing $200 a month. It used to be lower than that because when I first started putting this fund together, I was only able to save $300 a month across the board, and 50 of that a month would go into retirement. Now we're doing 200 a month, and we're only doing 200 a month because we are literally a week and 1 day away from purchasing a house. So this is low until we get settled after the move, and then we can put more in. But let's assume that we put in $200 every month and we never change it, okay? It is never going to change from $200 a month. And what do you think your annual return will be if your financial advisor, and you can say this to them if you're talking with a financial advisor because you're what you call your work doesn't have a good match program or a good retirement program. You can tell them that you will tell your financial advisor that you would like to invest your money in a growth stock mutual fund like a Roth IRA that makes about an average between 8 to 12%. My financial advisor hooks me up with a 10% annual return. So we've got 10,000 right now, putting 200 in every month. Now, if you just do that, it's not going to be a ton of money if all you're doing is just putting $200 away like in a cookie jar. It'll be a chunk of change that'll be nice to see at retirement, but it's not going to last you super long. How much do you think it's going to be with 10% of growth every year for everything in the account? Let's click the calculate. 1 million. Oh, let me scroll to where you guys can see it. There we go. 1 million for $1,472,090 or but yeah. So you see the number, okay? My words are not working right now, but look at that. All we did was put $200 away every single month, and it brought us over $1 million. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy, awesome, isn't it? And then we can scroll down a little bit, and we can see what that looks like. Initial balance being this. Contributions. This means how much money we put in ourselves ends up equaling $91,200, which means that the other $1,300,000 was all growth from interest. That's why you go for a growth stock mutual fund, something where the compound interest grows everything in the account, whether you put it in there or it's just interest that gathers up from it sitting there over time. All of that is growing together. That's what the goal is. Now, that's pretty exciting, isn't it? Now, this isn't always what I was able to do, okay? So, back in the long ago days, I was only able to save $50. Okay, so let's rewind back to when I started this account. And we're going to put all this at zero. How much am I going to contribute monthly? Just $50. The 10%. Okay, this is if I was just pinching pennies the whole time. I never was able to get a job more than like $25,000 or $30,000, and I was really struggling. But I was still putting $50 away at a 10% interest. You guys want to see what this looks like? Let's take a look. Calculate. That still leaves me with almost $500,000. You guys see how this works? Look at this. This is the beauty of compound interest. This is why you need to be intentional about your retirement savings. Now, of course, you could say, well, I want to spend money on my right now. I want to enjoy my life right now and not be miserable until retirement. Correct. I agree. You don't want to live a miserable life now so that you can have loads of money that you're never going to be able to fully spend in the future. But that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is so that you have enough to be able to live and survive in your retirement years when you cannot work anymore, and give you plenty of money to give afterwards. That's the whole purpose of this. And this retirement calculator gives you some ways to be able to play around with it and to have some fun with it. It gives you a way to be able to look and to say, I want to do X or Y or Z. Now, let's put in a different perspective, okay? So let's say that you were to put in 10% of your paycheck. Let's say you cleared out your debts, which you're supposed to do. The Dave Ramsey baby steps are built the way they're built for a reason. You can invest your best when you are not weighed down with debt. So what you need to do is you need to get rid of your debts as quickly as you can. And then when you're able to keep the majority of your paycheck for yourself, you can then take that money and do what you want with it. So let's take it and let's plug in that money. And let's say that you wait until you're out of school and you're out of debt, okay? Let's put in 30, okay? Let's say that you have to wait until 30 because you got some debts and you wanted to clear them up. You wanted to fix some mistakes that you had. You don't have any retirement savings. And you're gonna, but now that you're cleared up, you're gonna start saving money. Let's say you and your spouse or you alone make the average household income in the United States, which is about $60,000. It's a little bit over that, but we're gonna be pessimists. I like being pessimists because it makes things more fun. All right, so let's say you make $60,000, right? All right, so you make about $60,000, and that's take-home pay. So let's say you got $60,000 take-home pay, and we're going to pull out our handy-dandy little phone calculators. Ready? 60,000. We're going to do, what's that I'm thinking of? 10%, 6,000. Let's figure out how much that is per month. That's $500 per month, okay? So let's say that we decided, we've really crunched for a while. We're not going to go too crazy on the retirement savings, but we're going to put 10% of what we bring home in, and it averages about $500. So let's say you're 30. We have 0 in investments. We're going to contribute $500 in a 10% growth stock fund. Let's see what that turns out to be. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That ends up being almost $2.5 million. $2.5 million by the time you reach retirement age. And some people may not want to retire at 67. They may work more after that. Here's the real beauty of it. The way that compound interest works, you can take out a little bit of that money, and then every single year, that interest is going to build it back up to where it will never fully disappear. So the recommendation is to take somewhere between 7 to 9% to live off of, and I believe that the most correct number is 9%. So let's be pessimists and we'll say 7%, okay? So we've got 2, 3, 2, 9, 9, 1, 4. Okay, I've got that plugged into my little calculator here. All right, and we're going to take 7% of that out every year, okay? Every year we're going to take out 7% of that. You know what that's going to leave you with? $163,000 taken out every year. Now, let's say that it wasn't growing anymore, okay? Let's say that it was no longer going to grow. We're going to take the 2,400,000. We're going to roughly put it at 2,400,000 just so it's close. Divided by the $160,000 every year that you're taking out. If you do that every year and it was to never disappear, you were never going to have a single % of interest grow, that would still last you for 15 years. Let me ask you this. How many of you right now are living off of $160,000 a year? Let me ask you this. How many of you are living off of $160,000 a year with 0 debts? Can you imagine what that life would be like? You don't have mortgages. You don't have car payments. You don't have credit card payments. You've got no student loans. None of those things are done because you took care of those before you turned 30. And now you've got $2.5 million to your name. That's not including your house. Remember, your house counts as equity too. You're living in a $400,000 house. You're talking $2.7 million to your name. And that's not including your cars. You'll probably end up finding yourself closer to $3 million by the time you add up everything that you own. And not only do you have all this to live off of, and that can make you say, wow, I feel a lot safer after that. Yeah. Yeah, you would feel a lot safer. Now let's ask you this. How much can you give if you have that kind of money? It would be really easy to live off of $100,000, right? The average person can definitely live off of $100,000 a year, right? I mean, the average blue collar worker who puts $500 away into retirement savings every month. I look, my salary right now, I'll go ahead and tell you, is 40,000. My wife makes a little bit more than me, but not by too much, and we're putting 200 away, and we can do more once we've finished the move. It's possible to do. It's possible for anybody to do. How much good can you do when you've got $60,000 left over that you can give to your children, your grandchildren, to your churches, to charities, all of these different things that you can do with this money? This is why the baby steps are so important. And this is why they are ordered the way that they are, so that you can live the absolute best life possible for not only yourself, but for everybody else involved. I want you to live this kind of a life where you're free of these concerns and where you're free of all of the crazy crap that everybody goes through right now. I'm seeing reports all the time about people who are making over $100,000 and are barely breaking even. And I'm sitting here like, I'm probably right now at the first time that my wife and I have ever been anywhere close to $100,000. And we were saving money the entire time because we made different decisions. Okay? Our entire time that we've been married or adults, we've only had one car loan. It's getting paid off in less than a year because we're intentional about it. We don't want to live in debt. We don't want to live bogged down by payments. And we're not going to spend money on a joyride car when we can buy a car that is $20,000 less that runs for years. The car that I drive right now, you want to talk about different life decisions? Most people when they buy a car, they go out and they buy a new car. They buy the fancy flashy car that they really want because, hey, I can afford the monthly payments. We didn't do that. We went out and we took cash. We took cash that we had purposely saved up together, that we had set aside for the purpose of buying a car. We took that cash. We bought a $5,000 Nissan Sentra at the beginning of our marriage. Almost 5 years later, I'm still driving it. The most expensive repair that I've made on that thing was $400 when the AC went out, along with a couple of regular wear and tear things, and I think a tire on top of that. It's run like a dream. If it were to break down tomorrow, I'd get a Toyota Corolla for cash. Because Toyota Corollas are apparently the invincible car. We make different life decisions, which makes us more able to save money. And that's the kind of life that I want for you. I want you to be able to live this $2.5 million type of life. Okay? Now, here's the deal. This is not the way that it should look, where your finances never increase. Okay? Let's run some really crazy numbers. Let's say that as soon as you got out of college, or not out of college, let's say as soon as you got out of high school, let's run some numbers for you high schoolers out there. All right, let's say you never make a penny over $50,000. Okay, so you never make a penny over. Let's take out about $8,000 for like taxes and stuff that are out of control or whatnot. Okay, we got $42,000. We're going to take the recommended. This is the recommended is 15% of your paycheck. Okay? 15% of your paycheck is supposed to go towards retirement. That's $6,300, y'all. That's more than this right here. And let's take that back. Ready? Fresh out of high school, You get a job. Let's say this, okay? Now I'm going to get really crazy with the monies, and this is probably where it's going to get a little in the weeds. So I'm actually going to let YouTube go, and I'm going to. Oh, this is really cool too. So it's something you guys can look at right here. This is what's awesome. You watch the building of the numbers, and this was from age 20. I believe it was 28. Yeah, I think it was 28. All right, so you start in here, 2023, building up. You see all the contributions that you make. You only contributed this much amount of money so that you would get this amount of growth. Only 10% of the money that you have is stuff that you put in. Everything else is just percentage growth. All right? But if you look at this, you can see it build. And then you see right there is where the $1 million year mark is. Okay? Takes you a while to get there. But then, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. See how it takes significantly less time to get from 1 million to 2 million? It takes a while to get to 1 million, doesn't it? I mean, look at all these years. We start here at 2023. Here in 2052. That is 29 years later, we hit the $1 million mark. But then, how many years does it take to get from 2052 to the $2 million mark? 2052 to 2059. This is the beauty of compound interest and why you should start right now. Now, get out of debts first. Hey, friends. All right, for those who are on Rumble, we can play around with some of your numbers so that you can see what, if you started saving for retirement seriously today, what it would look like for you. I'm going to let YouTube go for now. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, YouTube. Rumble, stick around, and I will see you guys later.